26% of Americans are carrying debt because of a phone. Not a house, a phone. The average balance, according to LendingTree, is almost $1,500. And nobody in the store calls it debt. You didn't buy a phone. You signed a lease on your own self-image, payable monthly for 2 years. Here's the part that gets skipped. The plan feels free because nothing about it feels like spending. Just a line item folded into a bill you stopped reading months ago. Next to the data plan, next to the insurance you added because the rep asked just in case, in a tone that made saying no feel reckless, almost irresponsible. Multiply that by however many people are standing in that exact store this week, and you get a quarter of the country signing the same lease. Not because they're bad with money, because the entire interaction is designed so the moment of spending almost never arrives. The phone isn't even the easiest one to miss. You had a day, whatever kind, long, bad, forgettable, doesn't matter, and you open an app and you order a sandwich from a place 4 blocks away. The sandwich is $12. That part you know. What you don't fully register, because the interface is built precisely so you won't, is that a LendingTree study on delivery pricing found the average order costs 79.5% more than just walking in and getting it yourself. Call it about $9.30 stacked on top. Quietly, in layers, the way a tide comes in without ever announcing itself. Delivery fee, service fee, a small order fee, because apparently wanting less food is now something you get penalized for, and the suggested tip, calculated, this is the detail that should bother you more than it does. After all those other fees have already inflated the number it's a percentage of. In Atlanta, that same study clocked the markup past 92%. Somewhere tonight, someone is paying almost double for a sandwich they could have picked up themselves in less time than it took to unlock the app. You tell yourself it's fine. It's a few extra bucks. You earned this after the day you had, and you did earn it. You just also earned the extra hour at your desk it took to cover the fees on a sandwich a person could carry 400 yards for what it actually costs on the menu. There's another version of the same trick. This one doesn't feel like spending at all. Which, again, is the design, not an accident of it. You're at checkout. There's a button. 4 small payments, it says, interest-free. And your brain, this part is documented, not a metaphor, processes that sentence completely differently than it processes a full price tag. Handing over cash registers as a loss. Splitting it into 4 invisible future payments registers as something closer to nothing. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tracked the shift directly. Buy now, pay later lending grew from $2.2 billion in 2019 to $43.9 billion by 2023. The Federal Reserve puts current usage at 15% of American adults. And here's the number that actually matters. Almost 60% of buy now, pay later users admit they used it to buy something they couldn't otherwise afford. Not wanted less, couldn't afford. Roughly 1 in 4 have already made a late payment on it. Future you was supposed to be richer. Future you is, statistically, just as tired, reading a bill that got smaller in the moment specifically so it could survive the trip into the future intact. Here's the thing nobody says out loud in any of these 3 transactions. None of them are illegal. Almost none of them are even hidden exactly. The fees are disclosed, technically, somewhere in a menu you'd have to tap through 3 separate screens to find. The debt figures are published by federal agencies in reports with page numbers, sitting there for anyone who wants to go look. This isn't a conspiracy, it's a business model that mostly works because you rarely do the arithmetic in real time, and it's designed to keep it that way. The phone's still in your pocket, the sandwich lasted 6 minutes, the 4 payments are still coming, on a schedule you technically agreed to, in a moment that didn't feel like agreeing to anything. Nobody sends you a notification when your budget breaks. It breaks in installments, small enough each time that none of them ever felt like the decision that did it. Which one was it then? The phone, the sandwich, or the 4 easy payments? Maybe the honest question isn't which one. Maybe it's how many monthly payments you're making right now for things you no longer even remember buying.